Welcome to the Metal Verbalizers podcast. We started this podcast because we want to support the great music and hard-working musicians of the underground, as well as being a place for you to discover new great music. If you like what we do and want to support Metal Verbalizers, then leaving a like, a comment, and following the podcast would be a great help. If Metal Verbalizers get found by more people, the bands will also benefit from that. In this episode, you will hear a tour stories I made with one of the band's members. To quickly summarize, the tour stories are about a band telling funny and interesting stories that have happened during tours and things like that. I'm Johan Verbalizer, and this episode will be dedicated to the band Sublind. Alright, so we have another tour story here about the band Sublind. So I guess we could start by having you introduce yourself a little bit, and also if you want to introduce your band a little bit.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me. I am Luca, the vocalist of Luxembourgish thrash metal band Sublind. We're active since nearly 20 years, and today the band is composed by Ben and Mark on the guitars, by Kevin on the drums. Very recently, we added Mehdi on the bass, and obviously myself. We released our only second album just 3 years ago. It's called the Xenozilicophobia Sessions. It was very well received, and now in February we will drop our new EP called Metamorphosis. And we're just looking forward, and we are curious what people tell us about.
All right, sounds great. And I guess I also could mention a little quick that I have gone the great honor of actually having heard the upcoming EP, and I can definitely confirm that if you like the last Sublime album, I'm feeling very certain that you will definitely love this one. I was super happy when I heard it, and just those first few seconds definitely got me sold immediately, and I really wanted to hear the full thing just from those first seconds.
Thanks a lot. It means a lot to us, and as I said, we are very curious because on the one hand it's a brand new product, obviously, and on the other hand it contains only old songs. So we re-recorded 6 songs which are on the album Thrashing Delirium, which was released in 2014, which means that some people already know the songs, and maybe for a newer audience, the songs are totally new. And that's why it's quite very interesting for us to know what people think about it. So, and first of all, thanks a lot for your feedback. Much appreciated.
Yeah, you're welcome. And as I mentioned earlier, I'm feeling very honored that I was given the great honor of hearing it early. So thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. I'm honored as well because kudos to Metal Verbalizers. I just discovered them, I think 2 or 3 years ago in the best Facebook group I'm in the new wave of thrash metal. And
yeah,
I had the great pleasure to discover already few bands through your channel. I think Murdoch from Malta is one band I discovered there. And there were a few other ones. I don't know exactly which ones. I can't remember, but I know Space Parasites, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember. There were 2 or 3 bands which I discovered through your channel, and that's very cool. Thanks a lot for the support you give to our very cool and great thrash metal scene. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I'm very happy to hear that, because I mean that's kind of like the essence, like the purpose of the podcast to do that. So it's great to hear.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
But yeah, would you like to say something more about Metamorphosis, or do you want to go to the stories?
I can start with Metamorphosis if you want. So the idea came just when we were finishing the songwriting for the Silicophobic sessions. I can't remember who it was, but someone in the band came up with the idea to re-record one or two songs and to put it on the album as bonus track. And we kind of liked the idea, but very quickly we started to argue which song should we take, because we play most of the songs we still play because we like playing live, and I think the people appreciate it as well. So the one came up and said we have to pick those two songs, and another one said no, I rather prefer the other ones. And so we said, okay, we came up finally to with the conclusion that it would be better to release the albums, the Silicophobic Sessions, as a pure album with only new songs, and that we would make an EP containing a few of our favorites back from the album Thrash and we would do a re-recording. So someone came up also, I think that was Mark, our guitar player, to re-record the entire album. But the other one said, well, that's the wrong message, because it's clear that the album had a lack of precision and tightness, but the songs are cool anyway. So we didn't want to give the message we have to re-record the entire stuff again, but we will pick some favorites, which we still play live to this date. Plus, we added one, two songs which were barely forgotten. So it's kind of a nice mixture between songs we still play, songs we play only a few times, if you have, for example, longer slots, and two songs which we didn't play for, I think, 10 years or something like
Right.
that. And yeah, we are pretty happy with the result, because the songs finally sound how they deserve to sound. Back in the days when we recorded the album, for us, it was important to have that snotty, gritty attitude, but we were not that skilled as we are today. So we
Right.
thought that it was the good and the perfect time to do this project. And yeah, now on Valentine's Day, on February 14th, so you can make love to Sublind by listening to Metalheads. And yeah, as I said already before, we are curious to see what people think about it.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like you're saying, like it's pretty interesting to me when you're saying like some of the members want to do like one song and someone else wants to do another one. So instead of doing like only one or two songs, you do like the full thing instead. When you like explain it like that, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, because obviously we are a small underground band. We will not never become the new Slayer or the new Metallica, because we have all 40 hours day jobs and stuff like that, a lot of stuff to manage during an entire week. So it's not a question about money, nothing, absolutely not. So the idea was really to put those songs in a new splendor, you know.
Yeah.
And when you compare the old songs to the new ones, if you listen to both of it, it makes, I think, honestly, in my humble opinion, that it makes sense. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, do you want to go for some stories?
You mean a weird story, a really weird story from
Yeah,
our
sure.
band? Oh gosh, there are a few, but here I go with one of my absolute favorite stories. It was in summer 2011. We were playing here at a small festival in the north of Luxembourg, and it was outside. You have to know that it is in a forest, and in that forest there's a sort of amphitheater, And the stage is a cave. It's an open
All
cave.
right.
Means the band plays inside of that cave, and the people are standing outside on that amphitheater in the forest. It's very, very spectacular. It's one of the greatest and most beautiful spots we ever played. And yeah, so back that day, I was picking up our former bass player because we wanted to drive together. We had more or less 1 hour to drive to the location. So I picked him up, and obviously his gear. So he had two basses, his amplificator, and stuff. And we arrived at the festival, and the first weird thing is that our former guitar player, he came to us when we arrived. He was already smiling and said, "Dudes, I just totally messed it up. I forgot my guitars." So we were like,
Oh.
wow, great, excellent. You are a guitar player. You had one single fucking job and you forgot both of your guitars. Okay. That's not the main story because the evening goes on. I remember that on that evening we played quite late. And so after the gig, we were just hanging around with friends and the other bands. And at a certain point, I decided, okay, now it's time to go home. It was very late already. I think it was 1 o'clock
All
in the
right.
night or something like that. And I picked and I looked for my bass player, and I finally find him, and he was
Oh.
completely wasted. And when back in the days, we often had the experience to get how do you say, to get rid with him when he's drunk. So it was quite a struggle. So I told him, Gary, his name is Gary.
Yeah.
Uh, I know that for him it's no problem when I talk about this story
All right.
because he likes it too. That Gary, we will go home now. So we jumped in the car. And you have to know, because it's just in a forest, you have only land, roads, and stuff like that. So
I see.
it's quite very curvy. You have to be very careful when you drive. And it happened quite a lot to me that I had to bring back home Gary after a show, after a boozy evening. So we just sit in the car, I think he was sitting just 2 or 3 minutes and he fell asleep. Okay. So, but the thing is that while sleeping, he didn't slump back, into the seat, but instead, with his upper body, he just leaned forward all the time. Okay.
Oh.
So he was like this. Okay. Not
Yeah.
like, okay, but okay. So as you have many curves, I was driving all the time like this. So I had to push him all the time. And I screamed at him. I just gave him some fists in the stomach and said, "Gary, you have to get awake, please. This sucks." But there was nothing to do. And because I drank also, so I had to be very carefully as well.
All right.
And we were just driving, and there was nothing to do. I was all the time driving like this and paying attention. Every time I had to change the, how do you call that? When you have to want to drive fast or slow. I don't know the
Yeah, yeah,
English.
like change gear.
Exactly,
Yeah.
thank you. And that was quite very difficult. And I had his head most of the time into my lap, so
All
between my
right.
legs. It was
Ooh.
horrible. So we were driving, and finally we came to the highway. And took one exit to drive into his village, and police. So
Oh.
they stopped us. I had to make an alcohol test, which was negative. And then they just looked in the car and just find him. He was still sleeping. And the police officers were very kind. They just asked if he's fine and where I would drive, and I just explained I have to bring him back home, etc. And they saw that back in the car I had all his stuff, and so that was the reason, because he was sitting just next to me. Um, and yeah, so we finally arrived at his home. I opened his door. He was obviously still sleeping, and I just push him out of the car, and I finally got him awake by slapping
Yeah.
into his face. And so he just woke up, and his first question always was when getting awake after a boozy night or afternoon, do we play now? So do we have a gig or do we start rehearsals?
Yeah.
No, look, I'm just in front of your house door. You get out of the car and you go to sleep. So I was helping him. I was holding him and I brought him just in front of the door. And I said to him, Gary, listen, I will bring home at my home, at my place, your basis. So you don't have to because I just wanted to go home. I was really
Yeah.
nervous. I was totally angry and stuff. And he said, no, 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 I will take my bases. Okay. Went to the car, took his bases, and gave him both. I jumped back into the car to drive, and the very, very, very last thing I saw with my naked eyes was Gary standing just in front of his door, holding his two bases. Okay. So the morning after, it was, I think, 11 o'clock or something like that. I get a phone call by Gary, and he asked me, dude, you have my bases, right?
Oh no.
And I was just like, I started laughing and I said, um, no, you just were there just in front of your door entering, and I just left. You have the bases. And then I hear his girlfriend in the background saying, but no, when you opened the door, there were no bases and stuff like that. And I just asked myself, what did just happen? What did you do? And apparently, because the girlfriend said that she opened the door at 5 o'clock in the morning, more or less, but we were there at 3 o'clock, more or less, in
Hmm.
the 2 hours before. So what probably happened, but we have no one who can confirm that. Gary probably fell asleep just in front of his own house and lost his bases. How they went lost, nobody knows. Maybe it
Hmm.
was a UFO coming down and aliens picked it to the next exoplanets or something like that. Maybe he got dropped. No one knows, but the bases were lost.
Hmm.
So that is personally one of my favorite stories, that when your own bass player loses his both bases just in front of his own house because he just fell asleep. That's a story I really like a lot, and I remember that only a few days after this we had the next gig, and he had no time to get new bases, so he
Oh,
asked the other bands to play on their ones, and they were so kind and said yes, no problem, because many people heard about the story, and that's quite
yeah.
yeah funny. I think I it was really really weird because in the same day you have your guitar player who forgets to bring his own gear, and the bass player has his story to tell after. That was very
Yeah.
crazy, yeah.
So the
And
guitarist
still to this,
forgets his instruments and the bassist lost his
you know,
instruments. Yeah.
exactly. And still to this date, no one knows what's happened. We only can let our
Imagine.
imagination free
Yeah.
and
That is pretty
yeah,
interesting though. Like kind of imagining how did that actually happen?
I don't know, because as I was driving away, that's the last
Yeah.
thing. Like I said, with both
Yeah.
bases just
Yeah, imagine.
waiting for the door to open, but he was standing probably for another 2 hours there. He fell
Yeah.
asleep. He doesn't know it, in fact. So yeah, that's one of my absolutely favorite stories, because it's obviously when you drink a lot. We were very young back in the day, so yeah, that's my one of my probably my favorite, my absolutely favorite stories. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's a great one. It's a great one for sure. But yeah, like you were saying, when he didn't have the time to get new basses, he borrowed it from another band. But I
Yes.
also was kind of like wondering with the guitarist, when he forgot his guitars, how did he solve that?
In fact, there were other bands which whom we are friends who just borrowed. It's correct, right?
Okay.
Their guitar to our former guitar player so that he could play the gig.
All
But
right, so it's
yeah,
kind of like the same thing that someone else borrowed him
exactly,
a guitar.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
All right.
we played two gigs, in fact, with other people's instruments, in fact, because yeah,
All
we
right.
were too drunk or too, I don't know, uh, yeah, beep, to think about to bring our own stuff, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's something that I've heard many times, like bands doing like that. That they're kind of like borrowing each other instruments when things like that happen, or just when things happen when like traveling and like flying and everything. Sometimes you don't get everything, and sometimes instruments get lost during travel and such, and because of that, other bands like borrow their instruments to other bands. So that's a really cool thing.
Yes, absolutely. It's quite very how do you call that? Sensitive, delicate, because
Yeah.
I totally understand that not everyone is happy with that by when they have to borrow their stuff to other people they maybe don't know because you have a gear which costs obviously a lot of money. So I totally understand when not everyone is okay with that. I
Yeah.
totally understand this. But fortunately, there are many bands and people supporting each other when those thing happen. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's kind of my idea as well. Like you're saying that I understand why someone would be a little bit hesitant to do it,
Mhm.
but it seems to be very common that musicians do that.
Absolutely. I remember that. I can't remember that this happened a lot of time to us. I think it was those two gigs there,
All right.
and we were very thankful to the other bands for helping us out.
But yeah, it also sounded like a really cool place to play.
Absolutely. You have, if you want, and also some propaganda for the listeners. Just on Facebook, on social medias, you look for Rotten Stones Festival, and you'll probably find some videos and pictures about the location. It's quite very worth to visit. It's in Luxembourg, in a place we call the Müllertal. It's in fact a very big forest. It's very often compared to the Schwarzwald in Germany, and it has also the nickname the Little Switzerland because
All right.
you have it's very fantastic. It's perfect for spending a day in the nature, for hiking, for mountain biking, etc., etc., for geocaching, and once in one time in a year you have the Rotten Stones Festival. Back in the days, it was not the Rotten Stones Festival. It was a metal evening put together by local bands, and we were invited to play. But now it's that festival which takes place normally in June or July of every year, and also it's every year it's very worth to visit.
All right. Yeah. I will definitely have to look into that. But yeah, so is there only like metal bands playing there?
Exactly, mostly black metal bands, and they try to combine some local bands, so bands from Luxembourg. I think that mostly we have also some regional bands, so from the borders, from Germany, Belgium, and France. And sometimes you have also bands from abroad, means which come from more far away. We had to play there last year, but we had to cancel very last minute In fact,
Oh.
the festival had to be interrupted because we had a very severe raging storm just 1 hour before our
Hmm.
gig. So, and as we were headlining ourselves and the band just playing before us, we had to stop it right now. We couldn't even drive away because we were stuck in our car because it was so violent.
All right.
You had it was really okay. So, but fortunately, no one was hurt because you are in a forest. You have some electricity everywhere, and that was not cool. Was not cool.
Yeah. But I don't know if you have like any official plans, but do you have like any plans on playing there in the future again?
On that fest, we should play this year. We have been asked, but on that day we are not available. So we play a small warm-up show, which is in another location, just 2 months before. Yes, hopefully maybe next year.
All right.
We'll see.
So not this year, but the next.
Yeah. Just friends from Rotten Stones, you owe me some beers right now, okay? Because I'm doing fine propaganda for you, okay?
Yeah, but that's really really great. But yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that. But like you were
Mm,
saying, that's like officially, so to speak, it's like a black metal festival.
not officially and not only, it's mainly black
Yeah,
metal. You have
mainly.
exactly, you have death metal bands, thrash metal, you have every genre which is represented, but obviously mostly black metal because it just fits perfectly. You're just standing in the woods and in a cave
Yeah,
with the lights and the decorations, and it has some kind of esoteric spirit. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And
I
it's
believe
very
so.
you really get in touch with the nature and with the entire environment. It's very special. It's very cool.
All right.
It's one of my personal favorite places to visit metal concerts.
Yeah, I mean, again, it sounds like a really really great place to watch a black metal or
Absolutely.
any metal concert. But
Yeah.
it's like you're saying, it seems like the kind of like perfect atmosphere and like style for a black metal concert.
Mhm. You
So
you'll
yeah,
know what I mean. You'll know what I mean when you will look after videos and pictures.
all right. All right. So, in case there is, unless there is anything else that you would like to add there, do you want to tell another little story?
You mean once again a weird story?
It's up to you, but it sounds interesting.
Um, it's not that weird like the one before with Gary and his both
Right.
basses, but we once had a support gig with here in Luxembourg with Death Angel and Warbringer.
All right.
And after the show, our guitar player Mark couldn't find his guitar anymore. And we knew the location very well because we played there many times. And we were looking everywhere we could, and we asked the entire staff, and did you see that guitar? I don't know exactly which brand it was. I
All
think
right.
it was his Ibanez. Sorry, Mark, if it's wrong. Um, but we couldn't find it. And I remember that it was after all the shows, people were already leaving, and we were hanging backstage. And I was just talking with how is his name? The vocalist of Warbringer, John Cavill, maybe something like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yeah, it's correct. Yes.
Yeah. Kevin.
And I was standing just with him and our and other band members of ourselves, and we were just laughing together and talking, having small talk, and we were observing and looking the stuff of Warbringer just putting all their gear and stuff back in their van.
Yeah.
And we looked for hours. Mark looked for hours after his guitar, and then he came to us and he was like very frustrated and said, I can't find my guitar. I don't know what happened. And at that precise moment, there was one guy from Warbringer from the staff coming to us, and he looked a little bit, looked everything seemed a bit suspicious, and
Okay.
so they just finished to load the van. It took them, I think, 1 hour, something like that. And they realized that they had just put away his guitar in their van. Problem
Oh.
is that it was one of the very, very first things they put in
Oh
the
no.
van. So they had to take out the entire stuff again,
And they worked for
and
an hour.
they had to unload,
No.
take his guitar, and reload again. And we were just having beers together, also with John Cavill, and we were just laughing our asses off. For us, it's not that super weird, but for us, it's just a fun story because it was for a great evening where we had the great honor to support both bands, and I think John also really enjoyed that moment because he was laughing all the time too. That is also one of my very, very favorite stories. For the rest, obviously, we have a lot of cool moments when we spend time together while playing, while just hanging around at shows, or when we drive to a more far away to play a show elsewhere outside of Luxembourg. And I'm happy. I'm honestly happy for that question because I think it's always fun when you can relive those moments. And I'm fortunate to say that I with my fellas I spent a lot of fun and precious moments, and I'm happy when I have something fun to tell. So thanks a lot for the questions.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I mean, we also really enjoy hearing these type of stories.
I I I guess that if you do this with other bands, that I'm happy. I'm curious to hear what other bands will tell, and see if we can top that in the future.
Yeah, sounds great. But yeah, it is very interesting, and it seems like it's something that people enjoy listening to as well. We heard several times people saying that they really enjoy the tour story episodes
Yes,
specifically.
yeah, it's then where most of the fun things happen, obviously, when you're far away from home and you're just a bunch of friends hanging around, and when
Yeah,
not everything goes as planned, obviously, when there are moments, yes, which come very surprisingly, and yeah.
yeah, and I mean, I guess it's kind of like a twofold in a way, in the sense that uh, we think it's cool with these episodes of hearing the funny stories like that, but it is also another thing, and that is that these stories and these episodes are usually doing something else, and that is kind of uh, making it seem like, talking about the kind of like behind the scenes, so to speak. The kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
a lot of the like work that a lot of people might not think so much about, but everything from like you're saying, like putting everything into the vans, and like fixing everything for the shows, and like the travel. Like there's a lot of work behind that
Yeah,
most people won't even see, and that's
yeah,
also very interesting to hear, and something that we feel like we want to kind of like really express somehow.
yeah, totally agree with you. Doing all that stuff, it's a great commitment because you spend a lot of time, a lot of money for all those things, and yeah, that's the reason I'm very happy that, for example, talking about our band, we're doing this for 20 years now. When I and when I realize that it is as long the 20 years, god damn it, when I started with the band, I was
Yeah.
16 years old. So that's very, very crazy. And but it's also a result of putting passion together all the time. And of course, it's only possible if there is a lot of commitment, a lot of patience,
Yeah.
a lot of passion, and if you take also sometimes the time you need, because they are not every time going fast or doing things quickly. That's not always the best way. So I think, for example, talking about ourselves, that I would do the same. Everything we just experienced over the last years, I think for most of the parts, I would do the same again,
All
obviously,
right.
because we also have to know that we do this still only as a hobby, but we take this hobby very, very seriously. So when you have when you work 8 or 9 hours a day, you come home, you have to clean up things here at home, you have to do laundry and stuff and cook. And yeah, so we are happy when we find sometimes the time to come together and to try out new songs and to prepare for a gig. For us, that is always what keeps us alive as a band, you see.
All right. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, did you have another story that you would like to talk about?
What? Another story. Mhm. Uh, uh, I have surely many stories to tell. Um, some stories I think would hit the spot. Uh, we are not no bad guys. I don't. We
Right.
did nothing morally wrong, to be clear. But many stories are born when there's a lot of beer and
All
alcohol and
right.
stuff. And well, we calmed down a lot over the last years. But as I said before, when we were young, when everyone was at the beginning of 20 years, or when we were teenagers, we were drunk most of the time we hang together. So it's not with water when the best stories are created, or told.
Yeah, I see
So
what you mean.
there are thousands of short stories. Um, I can't remember another as fun story like those I told before. They surely exist, but to pick up one other, I would need to think about it. So, but
All right.
yes, basically when we are wasted, when we're just big old boys hanging around and having fun together. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, also, of course, I want to just mention that, but it's pretty obvious to me. But if you come up with something that you would like to talk about, if you come up with more stories, if more stories happen, you can, of course, just contact us and we can make another episode. So it's
Well,
obviously no problem.
we have to consume and to drink more alcohol then.
All
But
right.
I remember that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just to contact us. We are all always open to making episodes, and we obviously enjoy it greatly. So
I do as well, and as I said before, thanks a lot for your very, very honest and passionate work you put together for the underground metal scene. As I said, I am following your page since I know them, 2 years, 3 years maybe. And
yeah,
thanks to your podcasts and to your short videos, I discovered some very cool bands. For example, with Murdoch from Malta, I am in very close contact with Ollie. I don't know if you know
yeah,
Ollie, the
yeah, right.
drummer. And yes, it's very probable that we will meet each other very soon. So,
Yeah,
um, in if everything goes to plan, this year we will take a plane to go to Malta and to play with Murdoch, and that's a cool stuff, and that's surely
for sure.
also thanks because of your work, and it connects as you see,
Yeah.
and that's very precious and needs all the support and all the respect.
I'm very, very honored and happy to hear you say that. But yeah, to us, it's
You're
like
welcome.
we're basically doing like uh, what we want to do and following our passion. And like I've explained many times before, it's like what we're doing now is pretty much what me and my brother would do anyway. Just the only difference really is that we're pretty much recording it and making episodes out of it. But we're all like sharing bands and like talking in a kind of like similar way with each other long before we even came up with the idea in the first
Mm.
place. So to us, it's kind of like we're just talking about what we're passionate about and what we love. So we are obviously super happy to do it, and to us, it's just pure enjoyment.
It's also a bit more interactive when you see our ugly faces talking together and laughing together, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, is there something else that you would like to talk about, like the future of Sublind? Do you have any like plans in the near future or in the longer terms, or that you would like to talk about?
While in longer terms, we hope to continue for 20 more years. That would be very, very great. While now we are very busy with the release of our EP.
Yeah.
So it will be released on all streaming platforms on February 14th. Yes, on February 14th. And the day after, we will play a release show with three more bands here in Luxembourg. And yeah, we will prepare. Obviously, we're preparing our set. We just got all the merch together. We got all the copies. We got everything we need today. Um, Vinyls arrived. So we have these beauties here.
All
So,
right.
and they will be also available on our Bandcamp site. And we'll probably make also a pre-sale the next days. So if the people want to pre-order, they can also do that. And yes, when the EP is released, we have already planned a few gigs, some in Germany, in France, and in Malta, and we are open for everything. You know? If when we know, for us, it is always important to know in advance which possibilities we have, because, as I told already before, we are all working 40 hours a week. We have family commitments and stuff, so we need to organize a lot in advance. So. But yeah, we have no limits. We take all the possibilities, the opportunities we get, and we hope to enjoy what we do as long as we can, and that we try to maintain this strong friendship, this um, yeah, this passion together, and yeah, we hope to continue doing what we love most for many years to come.
Right. And I would also, of course, strongly, strongly encourage you to keep your eyes open for the upcoming EP and make sure to listen to it when it's released. Because, as I said in the beginning, I thought it was a really, really great EP. And I think that you're definitely going to miss out if you do not listen to it. So definitely do that.
Thanks a lot.
No problem. But yeah, unless you have anything more that you would like to talk about or mention, I guess we could kind of wrap it up here.
For the moment, I'm absolutely okay with everything. I want again to thank everyone. Extra kudos to all our friends and all the people in Luxembourg and everywhere for the support they give to us, but also to every band which keeps the spirit alive in the underground, especially. And yeah, we will see each other again. We will go on Your Nerves for hopefully a few more years, and as when the new EP will be dropped, we will continue writing new stuff. We have a new bass player, which is also who is also able to play the guitar very well, and so we have one more member who can be included in the songwriting process. So yeah, hopefully in, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years, something new will be released. But for the moment, we hope that the people will enjoy Metamorphosis and also enjoy that beautiful cover, which was done by the amazing Dane Goldsworthy. And yes, that are my last words, I would say.
Right. Well, I would, of course, like to thank you very much for making this episode together with me. And good luck with Sublind. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank, thank you, and rock on, metal verbalizers. Thank you,
Rock
Johan.
on. Thank you. And that's the end of our tour stories. We want to thank Sublind for this great interview and taking the time to talk to us. Now we want to know your thoughts and opinions. What do you think about Sublind? Do you have a favorite story or situation in this episode? If so, which one? Let us know in the YouTube comments or on social media. If you like what we do and want to support Metal Verbalizers, leaving a like and a comment on this episode would really help. If you want to discover more underground bands, then make sure to also follow the podcast. This would really help us, and by us I mean Metal Verbalizers and the bands we feature. If we get found by more people, the bands will benefit from that as well. Helping us spread the word by mentioning Metal Verbalizers in places like social media communities would also be a huge help. Thank you. It means a lot to us that you've been listening all the way to the end. We really appreciate that. We will be back with more tour stories soon.